Live in front of a studio audience, Miss Julia's open mic starring Sylvia Tho. Tonight's special guest, David Kelly.
Please welcome David Kelly.
Ever go wine tasting? We live in California where people make great wine, so whenever we go back home for the holidays, we're expected to know something about wine. At first, it wasn't that hard to pull this off because, while I'm no wine expert, my family back home was completely clueless. And it was so easy. I wasn't recommending special labels or fancy grapes. I was keeping it simple: white with fish, red with meat. What you need to know here is that competition runs deep in our family, and status is everything. It used to be my Uncle Max's job to pick the wine for dinner. He used to be the one who chose the white with fish and the red wine with meat. But now, since I moved to California, I get to do that. And he can't stand it. I remember one Christmas when Uncle Max said, fuming at the dinner table, well, I chose the wine for dinner. My status was put at serious risk about a year later when my parents asked us to take the wine tasting in Napa Valley. This is a big problem. If I mess this up, not only would my parents see through my bluff, I would look like an idiot back home in front of Uncle Max. So my wife, my parents, and I drive up to Napa. We stop off at a winery and ask for 4 tastings. $100 later, we have glasses placed in front of us along with a menu of wines and tasting notes. Now, these tasting notes are really something. For the first wine, a Viognier, it says it has a rich, distinctive aroma of peaches, apricots, and honeysuckle. We all taste it, go, and empty our glasses. Next, the Chardonnay. Apparently it has, among other things, flavors of red pear. So now I know I'm in big trouble. So it all tastes the same to me. It all tastes like wine! However, not to panic, I asked myself, what would the clever people who work at Cisco do in a situation like this? Why, of course, they'd ask an intelligent question. So I asked the lady, this red pear flavor in the Chardonnay, would you say that it's all of a late harvest red pear or an early harvest red pear? The lady looks up and says, I don't know. I'll call the wine master. I quickly glance at my mom and dad and see that they're suitably impressed. Our son stumped the winery. Which is the whole reason for bringing them up to Napa and spending $25 per tasting in the first place. My reputation was intact. I had nothing to fear from Uncle Max. Suddenly, this older man comes out from the back wearing a white smock that's just splattered with red wine, like all over. And boy, did I feel stupid and awkward. I felt like I just pulled a doctor away from emergency open heart surgery to ask where the men's room was. But I keep calm. I asked the man about the red pear. And after 30 minutes, we decided the red pear that most resembled what he had in mind was an early to mid-harvest red pear from a farm near Walla Walla, Washington, run by a third-generation family who has 3 boys, 2 dogs, and a cat named Buster. Okay, these wine people, a little obsessed with the flavors. Maybe a little too obsessed. So after all that, I asked, can I try the cab? And he pours it for me. Among the many items in the cab's tasting notes are sandalwood and shoe polish. Sandalwood and shoe polish? Are you kidding me? I wouldn't know the difference between a hunk of sandalwood and an exposed 2x4 in the wall of my garage. And as for the shoe polish, I haven't eaten shoe polish since I was 5. That was only after a sadistic older cousin told me it was black licorice. All I can taste is a wine. So why don't they just change the notes to something we can all understand? I wouldn't know the difference, would you? Why don't they just say, this wine tastes like a quarter pounder of cheese with a large order of fries and a strawberry shake? But if they did that, and even if I couldn't tell the difference, and I was with my family in the tasting room, I'd still ask, this strawberry shake you mentioned here, is it made from late season strawberries or early season strawberries? Thank you.